beautiful people. Welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. Let's welcome in James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Hey, everybody, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Show my girls some love. We appreciate y'all.
Please do. And also subscribe to James's channel. If you see the link in the description, there is a link to his channel. You should click it, or you could check out one of the playlists on this channel as well. Those views do go to his channel. Let me put my glasses on so I can see, and let's get into the valley. You know, there was no reason for 15 episodes discussing the same things. I do think that this group deserved to get more than the original 8 seasons they got last year in their first season of the show. But I just feel like extending them to 10 episodes, that would have been good. Hell, extending them to 12 episodes, but 15 to be the finale is stupid. Cast of color could never. That's all I'll say. But this episode was titled "There's No Zen in Resentment." Let's get into it. Lala had her baby. Congrats to her. We know she had her second baby through what do they call it? Artificial
insemination.
Yeah, she did it that way. She had a sperm donor. I appreciated her for sharing that process. There are a lot of women who just may not meet the person they want to have kids with at that time, or are single. You don't have to wait nowadays if you're successful enough. And sometimes it may be easier just to do it on your own anyway, because Lala said that was her reason. She didn't want to deal with the legalities of, having a child with a man. But congrats to her. Brittany, Michelle, and Voldemort, they all come by to see the baby. And this is where Brittany complains more about Jax and thinks that recappers are going to continue to fucking talk about it for 15 weeks. She's making me curse 2 minutes in. I'm sorry. So I'm not going over Brittany and Jax. It's the same complaints. There's nothing that she's going to say that's going to surprise me. I'd like to remind everyone he has been this way from the moment she met him. She had recorded proof in the form of television and still chose to be with him. So I just can't. Get a divorce, be quiet, move on. But they discussed Kristen and Janet, and Janet made a comment that proved Jasmine right in her being a Karen. Janet said, and I quote, she would love for Kristen to hit her so that she can see Kristen's engagement ring get put into a little baggie and taken away from her for the night while she has to go to jail. Let me tell you this, Janet, you make some comments like that around a black cast or a cast of color you don't even got to be black, you are no longer invited to the cookout. Your black card has been revoked. It is not ever able to be reinstated. Why you got to send people to jail just because they punch you in the face? Why are you going to do something that says and would make someone want to punch you in the face? And then if you get hit, send them to jail. Why not correct your action? Now, we know Voldemort is stubborn. We know this, but I just can't understand how she could say something like that. And Brittany could just sit there and be like, oh, no. Kristen's supposed to be your best friend, right? And you're going to sit there and listen to someone talk about putting her engagement ring away from her so she could go to jail? I cannot. James, how did you feel about the scene?
I didn't really make heads or tails of it. I was just kind of like, okay, congratulations, Lala, on the baby. Congratulations to get the support of the ladies. As far as Janet goes with that comment, it's people like you, Janet, is what's wrong with this world. Like, I'm sorry, I can't. You can't do harm to people, and when they react, you then seek out to get them punished just for your well-being of gain. To say, look, I proved a point that I can be powerful, because that's really what that's about. I'm starting to get the impression that the shit that's wrong with this show, it's not the people, it's just that it's too many of them. That's the problem with this show. There's way too many people on this cast.
I agree.
And yeah. And for me, it's way too many people on this cast, and there's not enough repercussions for them to make comments like that to jeopardize somebody's safety when you know damn well you started with that lady first.
Yep.
So for you to sit up there and try to then her freedom because you started with her because she responded with vengeance and it could have been a blow to your head. Now you want to get the lady arrested and put in jail over something you started. Wow. Okay, Janet. Okay.
It's
All
the
right.
truth. It's the truth. Janet just keeps proving she's worse and worse and worse. So at this point, I'm not surprised. But Jax does have the men in another scene come to his new townhouse because he's very specific on us calling it a townhouse and not a condo. It's a beautiful townhouse too. They talking about, oh, bachelor pad this, bachelor pad that. Shut the fuck up and put the cigarette out. That is a nice townhouse. I love the idea of putting the deck in the outdoor area upstairs on the roof. What is the point in living in beautiful California if you can't see a mountain or hill in your background, get a city view, or look out at some water or nature?
I feel like it's funny because see, I also laughed at the townhouse thing because it's something that now that I don't live in California anymore, people correct me all the time on saying something because we know it to be a condo. That's a condo to us. But people outside California, no, that's a townhouse, James. That's a townhouse. Because I told that my friend bought a townhouse, and I said, "Oh, your condo is nice. You got 3 levels and everything." And they're like, "This is a townhome, James. It's not a condo."
Yeah, condo not gonna have levels generally. None that I've seen.
Generally, no, but at the
It's
same
usually
time,
just a bigger apartment.
in Mount Eden, there were 2 levels, and we called them the condos. It was right across the street. Those are considered townhomes.
They
Not all
are.
of them. Not all of them, but the majority of
But those are kids. I feel like when you're
them.
younger, yeah, but I've never heard an adult refer to those as condos. Like I used to say that to my mom sometimes when she would pick me up out of them and she'd be like, oh, the townhouses. Like she didn't play that. She did not play that at all. Um, we are going to move forward though, y'all. Let me see what's next. Oh my God, somebody calling me now. My phone not opening my note. There we go. So Jax is in his new townhouse. Sensitive ass. He explains that Brittany is still calling him. Same drama, same song and dance. Brittany saying he's the worst guy in the world. He's trying to show us that, yes, I'm the worst guy in the world, but she's also a little bit bad too, because look what she's doing behind your backs. He's trying to say Brittany is nice off camera, which I believe. I do believe, because she called and told him about Kristen, all of that. He feels like she's breadcrumbing him, as she should, because you did kind of treat her wrong. Like, I don't like Brittany. I feel like she needs to stop talking about this, but it's baffling to see Jax just take no accountability and these men just side with them. And I'm like, looking at Jason, like, you have nothing to say but the most to say to Danny, who, even if he is a drunk, takes care of his kids. It doesn't hit his wife, just saying, or throw things. Just saying. But the topic of Danny does come up, and Jax basically feels like Danny's two-faced, says that Danny has acted a fool in his bar twice. Now, we know Jax was in his Airbnb, pretended to be in rehab, and he did not know and was not aware of what was really going on in the group. So I think he's just like, oh, we're getting at Danny. I'm going to bring this up, not knowing the group already brought it up, so we don't care. But basically, Jason, he empathizes with Jax and feels like Jax is upset because Danny gets away with murder and does these egregious behaviors and fuels people up, and people forgive it. But Jax can't get away with anything. Mind you, we also learned that Danny has not drinking in weeks, which some of the men there, like Jesse, who's actually, I could not stand Jesse, but I actually don't mind him now that we've gotten to the end of the season. And I wouldn't mind if he came back, because he had no problem looking at them like Danny hasn't even drank in weeks. And I think Jesse and Luke are like, the guy is right at his wrongs. He's apologized. You guys are bringing up Danny's drinking because Kristen brought up the fact that Jason doesn't wear a ring, because it all goes back to Janet attacking Danny and them for no reason, coming at Kristen for no reason. It all comes back to Janet. So I'm just looking like, why is nobody noticing this? Why are you guys talking about Danny so much? I would love for Danny to like leave the show and like not deal with most of the people in these groups so they could stop talking. But I'm not surprised of any of the ignorance that came out at Jax's house. How did you feel about it, James?
You brought up a really good point. about how all roads lead to Janet when it comes to all of the, you know, situations and accusations that have been placed. They all roads lead back to Janet. And it just goes to show you how nobody's going to question the white woman, teared eyed, crazy lady on the show for why she's stirring up all this drama and mess. But y'all are instead are going to go after each other and continue to perpetuate all of these rumors, whether if they're true or not. Y'all are going to still perpetuate the authenticity of it because some old crazy ass white lady told y'all it was true. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's so interesting.
It's
And
annoying.
and then when the one, even though I don't really care for her, but when the one black lady tried to tell y'all it was her, everybody wanted to look at her like she was angry and crazy. So I'm just trying to make sure everyone is looking at this and is seeing this. I'm new to this show. I have not a dog in this fight, but I see things way clearly, so I'm not objective to anybody because I don't really care. None of them are likable, not a single one of them. So when I say I'm seeing a spade for a spade, y'all have to see this by now. If y'all don't see this by the reunion, y'all have no hope. If she gets away scot free, y'all better tag team and point the finger and make sure she walks off that stage crying at the reunion. Because if y'all don't, y'all
She's
bitch y'all.
not. She's not. She's not. We already know that she's not. But the Ozempic is blocking her tears. Michelle and Jesse meet. I'm not going to talk about these two anymore, but she's going to throw a Zen party, which is pretty much the party of the finale. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm sorry to James. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to either.
Please don't talk about it. Go move forward.
I can't stand these people, James.
Right.
I just can't. There's nothing to say. Like, Michelle has fought this whole season to make Jesse look bad, but you're in a divorce. Like, this is the time I expect for him to misbehave and for her to behave. And we watched him at least try, even though his way of trying was wrong. But you left the marriage. You have a new boyfriend. The energy toward him needs to stop. I'm glad they made peace, but yeah, she's boring. She could be a friend of. But Kristen goes by Brittany's house. I'm also not going to discuss this scene. The reason why is because Kristen has a baby in real time today. You guys watched it if you're here. So I'm not going to really go too much over it. I appreciate her for being vulnerable, discussing her struggles and processing, dealing with infertility. But, you know, I don't have much to say there. So we'll move forward. Zach and Benji go out on a date, and this is where something was somewhat interesting. This finale proved they really could have. And then it was like an hour and 30 minutes long or something crazy like that. Like, bravo. This was too much. But Zach and Benji are out, and we learned that Benji's divorce will be finalized, which is soon, and on Zach's birthday. But the red flag, in my opinion, was Benji explaining he didn't want the divorce. He wanted to stay married. He wanted a relationship with his husband. The husband is the one that did not want Benji, which is not what I was expecting at all. I get the feeling that Benji's accepting the divorce and moving on with Zach because with Zach because he has to. But I still don't trust Benji fully. I just don't. How did you feel about Benji and Zach?
I feel like Zach is getting played and probably to some extent used as well. And I see this a lot where Zach doesn't give me he's the most secure person in the world. And I find it really hard to believe that in Los Angeles, California, you really couldn't just find some authentic person that would better suit you versus this person here who still has heartstrings for the person they didn't want to end the marriage with. So I really find it hard to believe that you really could not find somebody where you wanted to be. Either you don't want to have to keep up with the Joneses because a lot of the times gay men in LA are pretentious. So that's usually something that you will have to go up across, or maybe that's what it could be. but you can find somebody from Texas, somebody Southern, maybe some. You need somebody different. But who am I to tell another man what they need? But at the end of the day, anything would be better than this because there's nothing worse than someone telling me I still would not have ended the marriage with my ex-husband because he had to end it with me. That means that you playing with me because you should have been ready to go from that situation from the get-go. Why are you still yearning over that? So, hey, to each his own. If Zach like it, I love it. But it couldn't be me.
I don't trust it, but we'll see. I actually hated Zach first season. Not like real hate, but I couldn't stand him. But now I like him because I see that the things that he says behind backs or inside conversations, he's also willing to say to a person's face. But I'm like, there's got to be a fault. There's got to be a flaw. And I feel like that is his choices in men. But I hope he figures it out. Listen, it don't matter if you gay, straight, anything in between. Like some people just take a while to figure things out relationship wise. And I feel like Zach is one of those people. But I wish him the best. I do.
I do too, because even though this situation seems like it's obvious that it's not supposed to be a situation, I do hope the best for him as well. And I hope that he comes, if it does not last, he doesn't suffer any irreparable damages, either financially or physically or mentally or anything of that sort. Because usually that's what happens in these situations. I've lived proof of one. So,
I agree.
just be careful. That's all I'm going to say.
Now we get to the Zen party, y'all. The Zen party is the Hot Mess Express. Jax and Brittany talk. She claims that she texts Jax so that she can prove to him that all the things that he said she couldn't do around the house when they got a divorce that she could do. You stupid bitch. I just cannot understand. No, don't laugh. I'm so serious. That's the stupidest. You and my husband.
I was thinking that and you just said it, but I was looking at my phone.
She's so stupid. Here's the thing. If I'm gonna leave my dude, nigga don't need to know nothing about me. You don't need to know that I'm successful. I'm not gonna feel the need to prove shit to you. My only thing I need to prove to you is that you and me are no more. For her, how do you go from I'm fighting you and I'm gonna get my full custody and you're gonna have to pay me half of everything for Cruz to the well, I did that so I can prove myself to you. They're a match made in hell for each other. They really are, because I'm looking at it, I'm just like, this is what we're arguing over. My words that my note says are just divorce and move on to Brittany. And the reason why is because of the statement that Jax made after she explained herself. And he said, well, I haven't signed the papers yet. You know what? I'm going to wait till the last moment. He said the last fucking moment to sign. She's like, why? Why would you do that? And he said, because I can. Just because. I said, they're both so stupid. She tried to prove stuff to him, and he's admitting on a television show, on camera being recorded, he is admitting that he will hold up the court's time and waste California tax dollars until the last minute just because. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. But I mean, he might be really holding on because I still have not heard anything about this divorce.
Me either. That's why I'm like, when he said that, I'm like, oh, so he gonna keep you held hostage because you still are going to be like legally and metaphorically his wife.
Yep.
So, ma'am.
Although California is a nice state, because in California, once you file and or separate homes, whatever you make after that point on is yours. It's not up for grabs or up for any of that. But it's still just dumb. Like, I would subpoena the camera if I was her attorney. I would subpoena the footage and bring it up in court. Like,
absolutely,
we're going to be here for years.
You're trying to hold up my you trying to hold up my patience and my freedom, and I ain't got time for that. I need to get up out of this because you see, he's not mentally there. The fact that he would want to keep me in this marriage for whatever reason of his selfish gain, I got to get up out of it. And if this ain't the proof that y'all need, I don't know what else is. But I feel like I'm trapped and I need to go. as soon as possible. And I need to work out a better custody agreement with my child because clearly it needs to be, I need to get away from this man. See, that's the thing. And like you said, you had all of the Google and Yelp reviews. You knew this man wasn't shit to begin with. And this is what you get. Because y'all women always think y'all can change some man or the man ain't gonna be like that with you. It's like if he's like this on a regular day-to-day basis, what the fuck think that you're gonna be any different? Like what makes you I don't understand why women think like this. I don't understand what makes you no a
I,
lot.
I think with so there's a lot of women that do think like this. I can't deny that. With Brittany though, I think in her case the reason why she ignored everything that she knew was based on money and the idea of fame, because that's the only thing that would make someone deal with something like this. The girl didn't have like lasting childhood trauma or any of that. She's just stupid. She's just a dingbat. She saw the green of money and how pretty it looked in the sun. She's just too much. I can't
Just
with Brittany.
imagine the thought of like wanting to have fame so badly that you be willing to put yourself with a complete narcissist, allegedly, um, just because you want to be on TV and you want some simple simplicity of fame, in life. That is crazy. It's like, y'all, fame is not everything. Being known is not everything. I get in LA, it does put you through a few doors that probably a regular Samaritan like myself cannot get through. But at the end of the day, what does that door matter if there's so many in LA? Like, I guess I don't have much sympathy for her. I don't, because I don't care for her at all. But at the end of the day, it's like, ma'am, do better. Like, learn from this. Don't do it again. And with who you ended up with after him, I hope he's watching this too. Just saying, because I have not heard anything bad about him, and I would hate for you to ruin someone's image with your foolishness.
My bad, y'all. I got an Amazon package. Y'all have to understand. Exciting. Moving on. Janet goes to Nia. And I like the way Nia moves. Nia killed Janet with kindness, but also did not fake anything. Janet asked for a conversation. She's like, when you're ready, you come to me. And I hate when people do that. If you do something to me and you know you wrong, ain't no when I'm ready, you come to me. You do the work. If you fucking sorry, you come out and you say sorry right now. Say it loud and strong. Just as loud as your disrespect was, if not louder. But Janet is like, I realize, Nia. Here's my thing as a wife. If my problem with you is because of how you speak about my husband, bitch, then trust and believe if you're going to apologize to me, you better fix yourself to apologize to my husband, because that's who was talked about. Don't apologize for me because you're saying I'm innocent in my husband's bad behavior when there's nothing wrong with Danny's behavior as of this season or last season. He had already apologized for these alleged incidents. So I just feel like Janet as a wife should understand that, because she's real offended about Jason being told that he took his ring off to where he had to go without his ring for a long time to get a tattoo of the ring in place of the ring. Insecure ass couples. But Nia pretty much says she's not interested in talking to Janet. And she says to the confessional that Janet's actions are unforgivable. And I agree. James?
Absolutely. That's not
Can't hear you. It's muffled and low.
Oh, hold on, let me move. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I moved my computer because it was getting hot on my chest. Sorry, y'all. What was the question? I just forgot just that quick.
No worries. It was just how you felt about Nia and Janet's talk. Do you agree with
when she said, "Oh, when you're ready to talk to me," what is she some shit like that she has said. I was like, why she got to come and talk to you? You the one that did it? What? That is such a oh god. Get her off this. No, she's you know what? She is so fabulous. She need to be on Traders. She need to be on Traders. She would do so well on that show.
I think that she would, but the problem with traders is that a lot of the people on there don't want to admit that they are that, or they're at a point in their career where they have to.
Did it.
Who?
Do it the way Phaedra did it. Phaedra was a chameleon on that show. I'm sorry. She did what
Phaedra was a chameleon, but it's easier to be a chameleon when you're not a sedity, uppity Karen. So I don't know if Janet will be able to do well on that. But then thinking on it, I'm like, honestly, I don't think we'll ever see good from her around this group of people on television. So she would be smart to go and take up some offers and do other things. But the problem is who's going to want to hire and deal with her the way that she's behaved on this show. Like, people are actually offended. So, you know, we'll see. But I will say that Jesse's shown a lot of growth, because Jax was complaining to Jesse about Danny. And Jesse told Jax, why are you telling me? Go tell him. He right over there. I said, Jesse, way to avoid the bullshit. Oh my God, the cat and my husband are menace. Anyway, y'all, Jax does go over to Danny after Jesse tells him that. And I saw Nia was Mia's wife. She was looking over her shoulder the whole time watching him. Because I feel like Danny will cuss all of these people out and read them for filth and forget that the camera is there. But Nia, you know, as a formal Miss America, Miss USA, whatever the hell the term is, because I don't need Kenya coming at me. But they do have to conduct themselves a certain way for the type of deals that she needs to attract and things like that. But Nia, let that man cuss them out. Let him do whatever he needs to do. Please, please. But Jax pretty much told Danny he's a terrible drunk. And Danny says Jax has no leg to stand on, which is the truth. And Nia, because Jax then pulls Nia in it, he's like, have you not called me? Have I not called you asking you to come get him and to pick him up because he's acting a fool? And Nia mentions that Jax has also been in the same situations and how she has almost hit him with her car because he's drunk in the street. Yes, I believe it. Of course, Kristen, the loyal friend that there ever was, that is me, jumps in. And Nia and Danny are pretty much just fed up with it. And Danny exposed Jack for sleeping with his staff. I said, oh, that's what we're doing. I love this Danny. They've been calling him a drunk and alcoholic, questioning him as a husband and father and all of this for a whole season, impacted his reputation. So it's like, you already getting a divorce that shouldn't hurt your feelings. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, they should have done this sooner. They should have done this sooner. Like, I understand rising above and being the bigger person, but you can check someone and remind them not to play with you without like going crazy. And I just wish that they would have done that. This was just a mess. Before I move forward, Justin, Danny, Nia, and Jax's interaction, how did you feel about that? He's not there. Okie dokie. We're going to move forward. So Sheena is on another side, and she has a problem with people saying that she brought Jenna, who is Michelle's current boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. I am so glad I'm married, because that's just a lot to even remember. But Sheena feels like everyone has a problem with her, and people are saying that she brought Jenna around. And this is where I noticed that everybody was drunk and just like in their emotions and drunkly thinking like, we can solve the problems. And I'm like, well, no one should be talking about the problem. I saw eyes that were lazy, eyes that were bloodshot red. I saw people who were standing still, swaying and leaning at the body. I said, oh, these people was trashed. And Michelle should have known, to throw a gin party, you don't need people drunk. But Zach did make a good point, and I brought this up earlier. If we chase everything back to the root, it all is concerned or involves Janet, or Janet made it a problem. And this is where Janet runs off, because he said it calmly, and he said it at a time that made sense, because everyone's like, well, why and who is all of this coming from? And her name keeps coming up. So she runs off like a scary little coward, because that's what people do when they're caught. And Zach decides to go to Brittany and ask Brittany if she is under the same spell with Jax or with Janet as she was with Jax because they are both so similar, which I absolutely agreed with. The only difference is I do not think that Janet will play with drugs the way that Jax does, but they are very similar in how they spread, stir the pot, spread rumors, start mess. And I looked at Zach, I was like, that was a little rough. Like, gay man or not, you're still a man. Coming at that girl that way, you could have let Kristen or somebody come at her. I also don't understand why Zach is like so gung-ho on Brittany, take my side. Once someone shows me who they are, I feel like we should believe them. I'm not going to beg James or any of my friends to take my side. Either you rock with me or you don't. And once I see you not take my side in something where I have not been wrong at all, I'm not ever going to expect for you to take it again. So I feel like Zach really needs to get the hell over the Brittany thing. And he screams at her. I'm like, okay, Zach, you need to go drink some water. But how'd you feel about Zach and Janet running off and him screaming at Brittany?
I feel like it was, here's the thing. It was wrong for him to scream at Brittany like that. Regardless of what it is, it's still wrong. Because at the end of the day, no one owes you that. No one owes you that. But at the end of the day, I totally get where you're coming from at the same time, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I'm in this situation and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm just speaking how I feel. I know you would have my back just like I would have yours. So I wouldn't even question it. And then at the same time, I wouldn't even look for that validation from you because, typically I can hold my own, whether if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. So I generally don't need that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I generally don't need my friends to have my back like that because I'm on my own. I'm gonna hold my own.
What you're saying is I think the most important point, like, obviously you shouldn't yell at people like that, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I've always been a female that has friends that are males. I've gotten into it with some of them and they have yelled at me, and I'm not gonna be like, I am a woman. Like, so I'm not saying like you can't yell at your female friends if you're a man or a gay man or just any form of a man. But to me, it was uncalled for just because you're not, like, she wasn't giving him that same energy, and she keeps giving him the same response. And at some point, he has to accept it.
Yeah, because she's not going to change her ways. She's not going to change her being. And I don't know what you expect from her. Like, it just, that's why it's so cringy for me to realistically look at this situation and be objective to either one of them. Because one, even though I don't like her, I still don't feel like she deserved all of that. And then two, I don't know where you think, like, unless she did something outlandish and crazy, like, that's the only time I think I would accept that. If she did just something just off the wall, just like, oh my gosh, that is like well beyond my boundaries, then maybe I might find some allowance. Maybe I might do that. But as far as I saw from what I looked at, no, that wasn't warranted at all.
I agree. I definitely agree. But hopefully Zach will explain himself at the reunion. I think he was really drunk too.
I thought that too. I was like, maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he was just saying something, and then the moment got too heavy. Liquid courage kind of get up in you, so you kind of, because being drunk in LA is something else, y'all. I'm telling you, it ain't. It's very few places I don't want to be drunk at. DC, LA, and Atlanta. Miami, I can handle it.
My husband once got so drunk. We are from California. We live in California, y'all. So California to LA, LA to the Bay. Like, people from here tend to do that. I remember being in LA. He was 21. I was 19 or 18 or something. He got so drunk. I had to convince this place not to call the police on him. And it was a hassle to get him out. Me and my other friend, Jasmine, we had to literally carry him out together. And he's a little man, but he is sturdy and buff, all that muscle weight. I said, oh, Lord. But LA is not a place I've ever really enjoyed getting drunk either. It's funny you said that. It'd be hot.
Because
watch the back.
I can count on my right hand at the times I've been that drunk. And I was going to say my favorite moment of me being that drunk was actually in Miami. And it was when me and John were together, and I would never forget. I think this was before I moved there, so we were at this really dark place called Escape, and I had 6 blue Long Islands, and I was taking them back to back to back like it was Kool-Aid. And he was like, "Okay, either you have the stomach of a horse or you are just crazy." By the time I had the 6 blue Long Island, I made an impression all over them people floor. And that right there taught me I do not need to drink that much. So sometimes you just don't know until it's that in. So to bring this back
That's
to the
true.
valley, I think that that's what Zach was doing. Sometimes you just don't know until like the situation presses on the nerve. And then you kind of act a little beside yourself because there's never been a situation where I make an impression on somebody's flow. I ain't never been that drunk in my life. So the fact of the matter is that we all have those moments. And I think
Yeah.
that's realistically where he was in his mind. I think he did not realize he had way too much to drink and just went off loose cannon. And because I don't think Brittany is the same person of a person who drinks like that, I think that she took it as him being real serious in that moment. And I probably would have laughed it off, knowing me. But I can't tell her how to
Understandable.
react because he was saying some crazy shit. So I
He
can't
was
really
saying crazy stuff, but then at the same time, Brittany, like he been saying the stuff to Brittany for the whole season. So I'm glad it came out drunk, but now I'm also like, okay, let's just talk about Zach and move on. Like in terms of the reunion, like Brittany can say what she wants, and we know that the fame has also gone to her head a little bit. But if we get to this reunion and he doesn't coherently tell Brittany, and they don't back him up with the audience or the cast or the fan, I'm gonna be over it. But let's get into the last scene, which is Kristen and Janet talking. Janet wants an apology from Kristen, but in my opinion, Kristen is Janet's karma. Now, Kristen, she on Vanderpump Rules, she was everywhere. Like I liked her, but I didn't like her. Kristen is that friend that's going to go all the way in terms of loyalty. Kristen is the friend that will fight a battle that you as a friend did not want to have in the first damn place for you. So I do feel like she's Janet's karma, but of course their conversation goes nowhere. And Jason start chiming in. I'm like, listen, you little bitch made nigga. If you gonna come and talk to Kristen, then it needs to be when Luke is standing right there. Janet and her, pet are sitting there, and I'm like, why is Jason getting so mad that he's chiming in? I think Jason is pissed off about this rumor, and these people are arguing about it at home constantly, and so it's easier for them to just blame Kristen. And I think we're going to stick to that, but I appreciate Kristen for calling out Janet. But Janet ends up running off when she says that nobody really cares to hear her side. The only people realistically on Janet's side are Sheena, Brittany, Michelle. That's it. And as James said, there's too many people on this cast. So there's not very many people out of all the people that are here to cover her. I think that though there's other stuff that happened in between, Janet is wrong to spread the narrative and talk about other people's stuff more often. I think that Janet needs to learn next season to have an opinion when people come and talk to you, have an opinion in your confessionals, but don't go talking to people about what other people talk to you about or something you heard or saw. Be careful what you say and when you say it, especially when you're being recorded, because it'll all come back. And if you're going to do it, then at least be woman enough to fight the good fight and take the BS instead of running off. Like that's the worst thing I hate from Housewives and from anybody on reality TV. Don't go and be a villain, but then you're not willing to like fight a battle. When you're held accountable, you run off. Like that's no fun. Then you just look mean. Like I don't get it. But Zach yells bye to Janet. He was happy she left, and she didn't like that, so she came back. And Jason looked like he was almost going to fight Zach. He did not like that Zach was saying bye, bye. I'm just looking like Jason feels disrespected, but y'all turned around and came back and got in Zach's face. So Zach loses it on Brittany. We know that happened, but I don't know. It was an interesting finale. I thought I was going to see Nia cuss Janet out, but she didn't. A little disappointed. Maybe the reunion? Because James, did we not see that? Maybe they edited it to look that way.
I was gonna say, no, I don't think it happened. I don't think it happened. And
Probably
the reason
not.
why
Because
I
I can't
say
see Nina doing it.
I don't see her doing it either. That's why I was like, I don't think it happened. I think that to me, I don't think she rose above the situation, but I don't think she felt like she was going to be like successful in the matter of it. You get what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
how some people don't have success in the matter of it, so they just kind of would just take a step back and just say, you know what, we're gonna let karma deal with her kind of
Yeah.
situation. But to me, I kind of feel like I wouldn't care if you had a leg to stand on or not. It needed to be said. So
I would have
if you
read
ain't
that bitch for filth.
I
I
mean, me
wish
too. I don't care if I was right, wrong, or indifferent. She would have left her feelings hurt, and then me and Jason would have probably had to fight.
I would have got her. That's why your eyes is sunk into underneath your eyebrows, bitch.
For real.
There's
That's
always
why you
shade over you. You just
okay.
can
That's why you
always
look like the. That's why you look like the Grudge. I thought that was you in that movie.
right. Don't make no damn sense.
Hi,
Okay, people calling
Rob.
her Voldemort. She changed her profile picture to Voldemort, but the thing is, there's not much of a difference other than the hair being gone. So she better be cool because the black people who watch this show, we roast for fun. That's a family event. That's the barbecue. This girl needs to be roasted. Sometimes I wish they'd hire like someone different. Like they always have Andy Cohen for the reunion host all the time, but I wish that like for casts that are like super sedity, I wish they'd hire just the ratchetest host. Or casts that are super ratchet, I'd wish they'd hire like the most
And
polite
somebody
host.
just like, you know who actually I would love to see host this? I don't think they would ever do it, but I feel like she would be the perfect person just because she has a range of intelligence and then a level of ignorance that I just think would be just so phenomenal if they could do that. Cheryl Underwood would be the perfect host.
I love her.
Yes, she
And
would be
she's
the
never
perfect.
talked about. I love her.
Yes, I think she would be the perfect host because what you said rings bells. I'm like, yeah, we need a host that is very like politically correct, and she is on. Is it the talk that she's on? Yeah, the talk. She's very politically correct, knows how to handle herself well, but she does have a level of ignorance, and she gonna call the stuff out. I feel like Cheryl Underwood would be the perfect host for this reunion.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I said, Egypt Sherrod should be the host of all of the own shows. It's
You know
like
what,
this.
James? Let it go. Egypt is on Instagram on an island with her babies posting pictures. She ain't worried about nothing.
I
Um,
want Carlos to bring her back. Okay, I know she only did one reunion, but I want Carlos to bring her back because she needs to be the one that hosts, especially this season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Carlos, I know you don't watch us like that, but bring Egypt back. Stop
no,
playing. Pay her what she needed to
people
pay.
be watching who I wouldn't even expect to watch. When you go deep into your analytics, that's what I'm gonna say. You'd be surprised. DM Rocks, hey there, hey there. How do you feel about the 3-part reunion? I don't mind it. I think that I really feel like they're just trying to push 3-part reunions across the map at Bravo because there's a lot of shows that don't need it that are getting it. With this cast, I don't I feel like 3 parts is okay if they talk about it appropriately. Like the way that Andy hosts reunions, in my opinion, in recent years, I've not been happy with. And I feel like that's why they don't give as much as they used to. Like back in the day, the reunions used to like give. Now they don't so much. So I'm hoping, I think they deserve 3 parts, but I have concerns about how the network and Andy will handle the 3
I
parts. If that
feel
makes
like
sense.
we have Giselle to blame for this. And I'm being serious because there was a reunion. I don't remember which reunion it was where she like had like a meltdown or something and they didn't even show us the meltdown. And from that point, it's now been centered where you don't have to talk about certain things if you don't want to talk about it. Or you don't have to show certain things if you don't want. Like I feel like it started with that reunion where now it's centered based upon like what the people want to talk about, where that shouldn't even be. You were on a TV show, you should be able to talk about whatever happened on the show regardless if you're comfortable with it or not. You did it, so we need to see, we need you to explain.
Hmm. I can agree with that. Let me see here. DM Rock said they showed it in the trailer for the season that Nia cussed her out. Maybe they cut it out. They did. I thought we did see that. Drop the T. You know
Drop the
what I'm
tea.
saying?
You know I
Drop
want
the
the tea. You
T.
know I
Don't
want the
tease
tea.
me.
Yeah, don't tease me because you know I recapped that show. So go ahead and drop it.
Right. I like to get straight to it. Drop the T. No foreplay needed. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. This. We'll see. I don't feel like Janet will be held accountable appropriately. Um, I would like to see less of Sheena or make her a cast member. I hate that I'm saying that, but we done seen these people in Sheena's house half the season. Sheena is at the root of a lot of the drama. We learned she's the reason that Janet is in this friend group. Like, add her. As for Lala, I think she's okay being a friend of. Please get rid of Michelle and make her a friend of. Jasmine can also be demoted and be a friend of because we never see anything of Jasmine's life. Anything. Like we see this Melissa chick, but we haven't even seen Jasmine's apartment. Just saying. DM Rock said there's two newbies, one's Nigerian and the other one is giving Stacy the blues.
I heard about the one Stacy the blues. I didn't know the other cast member was Nigerian. So they're gonna do this whole. Okay, so did you know about the other one giving Stacy the blues?
No.
Okay, I knew about that. I didn't know about the other one being Nigerian. So they're gonna do another Aneka on this, basically.
I'm curious to see how Potomac goes without Karen. I'm curious because Karen, though she didn't give much on the cast, I feel like the rest of the cast, like Karen gave us comic relief through her little confessionals and stuff. She didn't really give shit as a cast member, so if she comes back, I think Karen would be better as a friend.
Last season, I don't know. She actually frustrated me because it was a lot of deflecting, a lot of.
She's been doing that. The fact that people
it was funny at a certain point. I think because it was an actual legal situation, that's what made the deflecting not funny anymore.
Yeah, but even before, like, even when it was funny, it wasn't enough to make her like relevant as a full housewife. But honestly, if she's smart, negotiate that deal appropriately, you could get hella money to talk about your story after jail or spin it into your own show. Like, I just don't feel like Karen fits this cast anymore. Karen can go, Giselle can go. I know these two had a sit down. Honestly, I don't care about it as much as everyone else does.
Me too, because that's not the person I want her to have to sit down with.
Years later, it's a little like, and then they're only sitting down because they're kind of forced to be around each other. So
right, exactly. So I'm kind of like, I'm at a point where I don't even care. Like they had to sit down. To me, honestly, the only person I want Monique to have a sit down with, even though I know she'll never give it to us, is Candace. That's the only person I want her to have a sit down with. Other than
that was the root of the issue. Giselle and her's issue was small to me. Like you should know,
Giselle was a hater.
Yep.
So that's why I said that doesn't move me the way I feel like it moves certain people that want them to get along. Because when they got along, it was under the premise that Monique just wanted to be in the popular girls clique and the light skinned girl clique because she had self-esteem issues back then. That's exactly what it looked like to me, and that's exactly what I'm going with. Even though
Monique, in some ways, aside from the binder, she's highly, in my opinion, overrated as a housewife as a whole. That's just my opinion. Like the binder, that was legendary. Nobody will ever have a reunion moment the way that she did. And she looked good. She always looked good. I'll give her that. But like, and she did have a storyline with the husband, but like in terms of how she interacted with the other housewives, I was never like impressed. If that makes sense. But yeah, Stacey having a weed line. She already got dragged publicly for it. So I guess it, and that's the thing. Like we already saw this months ago. We saw her get dragged. We saw people commenting on it. Now it's going to come on TV and it's like, okay, we've already talked about this. Like what they got that hasn't been leaked to the press already about the season. That's what I want to know. I'm tired of it. Monique was boring to me too. Because her issues with Chris, like we all knew that marriage would not last. But we also knew that like while they was on that show, she was not going to divorce him. Come on now. Like Monique, I didn't care for her like that. I just didn't. I feel like Monique needed to be in healing, not on television. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's it.
Maybe she has got the proper healing. We don't know. I'm curious to see what happens personally, but at the end of the day,
It'll be like when Sharice came back with Flop.
Oh, please don't say that name.
That's your drug auntie.
Where is my red X when I need
that
it?
was Karen's partner in crime. I bet you they whole fight.
Man, that lady. When I tell you, she reminded me of that advisor I had in college. That lady was mean as a snake. When I tell you, she used to tell people.
Now that we know what we know about Karen, and I used to be saying on your recaps, I said Sharice looked like she close to the bottle. I used to be saying it. How much you want to bet that friendship was based on the bottle and ended over a bottle? How much you want to bet?
No, I mean,
I feel like with Karen.
I feel like there was more to that than just that. I feel like, to me, they gave women that were cheating on their husbands, and they held each other's secrets close to the fire until one went left, and then all the stuff started spewing. I feel like Sharice definitely had a man, because Eddie was never home. So I feel like she definitely had someone that was giving her oil changes and tune-ups. And I feel like Karen had Ray at home, but he's too old, so she got somebody to give her oil changes and tune-ups and brakes and rotors. So I feel like, hey, I wasn't mad at it, but I feel like because that's frowned upon, they just held each other's secrets. I don't think it was about a bottle. I just think it was about more fidelity, or like thereof, if you get my drift.
Yeah. Y'all, and these cheap cast trips up Potomac are killing me, but we'll see. We know too much, and the season hasn't even aired.
They've been to Pamela. Okay, I was gonna say they've been international. It's Salt Lake City that hasn't gone international yet.
I don't really want to see them international anyway. But y'all, we're gonna head into the Housewives of Miami now. I appreciate everybody for being here, participating. I appreciate James. I hope y'all subscribe to his channel and mine. But we are going to discuss Miami Housewives, and we'll see you guys next week to go over part 1 of the reunion. Adios.